there's nothing to see there.
Nothing to see?
Nothing to see.
I wouldn't mind just seeing nothing.
But it lets you connect to going on safari, and it lets you go to Sun City, and the Cape Town's magnificent.
Yeah. Oh my God, Brandon in Paris, do you realize what's behind you?
Yes, he just told me.
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
All right, here we go. Recording, starting. Stream a little bit here just for the fans. Focus at work. Love Natasha's work. Give the people what they want. Nothing gonna craft.
That's, oh, you want to get started on the craft?
Well, whatever. Just
I was gonna
no,
go
you
in.
can punch in if you want, but just mostly use her crop because I want to match it up with the sizes. All right, get it when you're ready.
Welcome to the LA Home Show. I am your host, Natasha Phillips, and today we have with us real estate extraordinaire, Brandon Paris.
Hi.
Brandon, we're so glad that you could be with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, Brandon, how did you get into real estate?
It's been many years. As a kid, I remember just always getting the classified section and going through all the homes and kind of just looking at the prices. I didn't even understand money then, but I was like, yeah, I think I can save up to get that one. But yeah, just as I got older, I definitely moving around. I've lived all over California and just living in different living situations. I just developed a love for real estate, and I've lived in really nice places and mediocre places, and I've just always found like a great niche for finding a place that was comfortable. So just allowing myself to do that for other people was something I thought I would be good at. So last year I dove in and got my license and immediately went to work and start selling and buying, and so that was that, and now we're here.
And you've hit the ground running. I mean, you've had great success.
Yeah, I mean, this fall, so I mean, I hit the ground running in that I was a newer agent, and immediately I had a client that so happened to have a really nice house in the Hollywood Hills, so I was able to, my first sale was like a I think we ended up selling, or actually 1.9-ish. Was my first sale, and then I was able to put that buyer into like a 1.3, so it was just a good number to come in as a newer agent, and it got the ball rolling. I got to learn a lot, so yeah, I did well, and now I have to keep it going.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you keep your passion alive?
I think just by working at it daily, just like staying on top of what's new and seeing things that are out there, wishing for myself what I want to get, and having a passion myself to have property, kind of keeps that alive, and being able to help other people do it kind of gives me that fire for myself, and I definitely want to get into the property management and owning duplexes and remodeling and getting renters in there, so it's just something that I've grown to love.
That's exciting. Yeah. So walk me through the process of a new client. So the new client will come to you, and what are the steps? Yeah,
so say it's an open house. I love hosting open houses. I've always been a host. I'm the type who gets all the food and the drinks and gets really into it. But basically I love finding a buyer there, finding someone who's new and fresh, who's like and out there, someone who's actually out there. So once you find a buyer who isn't represented, I would definitely show them the house and whatever the property is, but a lot of the times people are looking everywhere. So basically just taking that buyer by the hand, reaching out to them and helping them with that process, and kind of narrowing down exactly what they're looking for and getting them into open houses and to private showings that actually fits their needs, as opposed to them hopping around by themselves without that helping hand. So it works out.
So you having success so early on in your career, what do you recommend to new agents?
I would recommend don't come in expecting anything, just come in with open mind. Come in with a financially stable. It isn't like anything you want to hop into just because last minute, because it takes some financial commitment. There's some fees and insurances you have to do, but definitely be focused. If you want to do it, definitely research and find the right teacher, find the right program. I found one that was great. And definitely do the process, and then just kind of take it day by day and don't expect too much, but anything could happen at any moment, so be prepared at the same time.
And what is you feel for you the best way to find clients?
For me, like I said, I love hosting, so I like being out there, I like being seen. I post on my Instagram a lot, so just trying to be seen and let people know that you're an agent, because people might see you on a day-to-day and have some kind of interest in you, but you have to let them know what you do. So just kind of always having that, if I have a conversation that in any way can tie into real estate, I'll be sure to bring that up. So it's just really getting yourself out. I'm a private swim instructor. All my clients have these homes, so I've given them the word. So it's just basically telling everyone you know. And in Europe, I'm passing out cards like fish and chips, so it works out.
So, what has been like a really interesting property that you've worked on?
Interesting. I would say my first sale was really interesting, just in the case that it was in Mount Olympus, and that area is it's very niche-y. So it's like everyone has the same style, kind of, and you try to price something that kind of can fit a certain style, but it can be changed by just where you are on the mountain or anything. So just getting to know that and getting to know the hill, you start to learn about the different rocks that could be built on and different things like that. So that was very interesting in that I got to learn a lot because it was in such a unique location that I had to dive into the title, dive into the city codes and learning all that. So that was very interesting and a great learning process. And then dealing with the brand new rebuild, that was fun in itself too, because now you get to deal with building inspectors and making sure you see you look at something, you're like, oh, this is perfect. And then you really get in there with an inspector, it's like, oh, you have this long list, and then suddenly you're like, okay, I get it. It's not just a walk in the bar. So it works out.
Well, that's good experience.
Yeah.
So I know that you have some exciting things on the horizon.
Yes. I'm actually running off to Europe. I'm going to be I have closing some deals here, and then I will be off and make sure everyone's settled. And I have a great team at Rodeo Realty. Definitely everyone is taken care of, but I'm going to Europe. I'll be there for 3 months, and I'm be ending my trip in Rio. In Brazil, and then I'll come back with a fresh face and fresh mind, and be ready for the spring and summer when the market is really hot.
That's great. So you think the market's going to stay hot?
Oh, it's going to stay hot. There's a little shift going on right now with the change in tax breaks and things like that, but definitely owning property is definitely the way to go. People invest in their 401ks and things, and everything's up in the air, but property is something that you can invest in and use at the same time. So I just think it's very smart. You can pass it on to your kids just like you would any other type of investment, and it's something tangible and something useful. So my whole route is I'm going to retire on property. So
do you have any recommendations for first-time sellers?
First-time sellers, I would say less is more. I remember in the beginning I was very eager with clients, and so I would send them 1,000 listings, send them this, be contacting them every day, texting, but I've learned that people don't really like to be pushed like that, and less is more. Send them exactly, because I would look at this list and be like, I probably wouldn't live here, but if you actually narrow that list down to what you actually feel and think and who you are as a person, and then deliver that to your client, it's way more genuine. You're able to show the place with actually a sparkle in your eye and have an interest for yourself. So just the client can read that. So I would just say true to who you are, and don't try to change who you are just to kind of fit a certain client or anything. Just stay natural, and usually people can read that and they'll usually work with you.
That's great. And where can people find you?
You can find me at Rodeo Realty, Brandon at Brandon Paris, BRANDON at rodeoreed.com. You can always email me there. I'm on Instagram, Brandon H. Paris is my title. And yeah, I'm very accessible.
So I'm sure your trip is the dominant thing, but what else are you excited about in your life right now? It could be work or personal.
I'm excited. I'm excited that actually this is my second trip, but this time I'm excited to take my job with me. I work for a social media and marketing company as well, Swim Social, and we basically build people's social media marketing up to gain a following, and we actually work with their community management and reaching out to the actual clients and making them feel as though someone's actually there. And so I'm definitely excited to take that to Europe and try to find clients out there that just need a social media boost, and I'm excited to take that there.
I'm sure you'll be finding some real estate clients too.
Exactly, I will. Definitely. Barcelona is where I'm kind of setting my hones in on now, so we shall see.
Well, that's great, Brandon. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching the LA Home Show, where we discuss all things real estate, interior design, and much, much more.